What's happening, everybody? Today is a very special video because we're going to be going through who I think, in my opinion, are the musicians MVPs of 2024. For this video, I picked 3 going from 3rd place to 2nd place to 1st place. So there is an order. I love to rank stuff, so just deal with it. But of course that was really hard to do. So there are some honorable mentions and I will go through those. And don't hate me if your favorite artist isn't in this MVP podium. There were a lot of really talented artists who had big breakout years, but these 3, in my opinion, did the most culturally and just in terms of quality of music. So let's go on to my honorable mentions. So let's get into these honorable mentions. Like I said, all of these artists are super talented and they all have a really good case and argument for them to be in my top 3, but obviously they're not here. Let's go through it. Starting off, I have Tyler, the Creator. Tyler, the Creator's Chromacopia was a huge moment. Whenever this guy is releasing an album, it's always a banger, and it's always a huge moment in the music industry. And Chromacopia, with its tour and its run in terms of like its rollout, everything was top notch. The visuals were amazing. The music videos, fantastic. Everything was great. Next up, I have Beyonce. I think Beyonce is a bit controversial right now because she won Country Album of the Year, and I get why people don't like that decision, but regardless, Beyonce had a breakout year again. I mean, every time, once again, she releases an album, it's a huge moment, and Cowboy Carter was a great album, very genre bending, it was new to her, and I totally respect that movement for her. Up next, we have Billie Eilish. Now, Billie Eilish with Birds of a Feather was a huge album for her. I would say it brings her back to that 2019 When We All Fall Asleep, Where Do We Go era. She was dominant this year, and I know that a lot of people were really upset that she didn't get that recognition at the Oscars, but she'll get the recognition from me, okay? She'll get the recognition from me. Next up, we have Doechii. Now, this was a huge, unexpected blow up. Doechii is extremely superbly talented, and her mixtape Alligator Bites Never Heal was a massive moment in the rap community and the music industry as a whole. A trailblazer is what she is, and I'm super excited to see what she does next. Lastly, I have Jack White. Hear me out. Jack White released No Name, a bangin' ass rock record, and now this guy is really late into his career. Obviously, he did a lot of work with the White Stripes, and all of those albums are fantastic, but to see him come back after this long with a solo record and it be that good and he be that dominant, and I'm so impressed. I wanted to give him a shout out in this video. But now that that's done, we can go into my top 3 MVPs of 2024. Starting off with 3rd place, I have Chappell Roan. Of course, she was a beast this year. I have never seen somebody blow up like that, like to the levels that she blew up. How quickly she blew up. It's amazing, and I'm really happy for her because she truly deserves it. And just to say some stuff that she did this year, Good Luck Babe being a juggernaut of a single, hitting over 1.3 billion streams on Spotify, hitting the #1 spot in the Hot Billboard charts. That song was a beast. Looking at her Lollapalooza show, well, I mean, it's a festival, but she broke a attendance record with the largest day crowd in its 30-year history. Now that's impressive for a debut artist. Wow. But even looking further, she had an album drop in 2023. It didn't get that much love due to her getting dropped from her label in 2020 because her music was deemed like unprofitable. It's stupid. She obviously kept going and fighting as an independent artist, and because of that, she finally reached, in the summer of 2024, her huge global success. And that album became a huge moment. Hot to Go was a huge moment. What's the fuck? Red Wine Supernova was a huge song. This is not even the beginning of her career. It barely is. I mean, this is really, truthfully, just the start. So I'm excited to see what she does next. Truthfully, there's nothing I think she can't do. She has such a unique flair to her music, and it helped with this pop revival in 2024. She was one of those big artists up there with Charlie and Sabrina and Billie coming back. There was a huge pop wave going on, and she's at the forefront of that, and I'm really happy that she's doing well. Let's see what she does next. I know it's gonna be fucking banging. So yeah, in second place, I have Charlie XCX. Now, I myself am a huge Charlie fan, and I've been for a while. So seeing her reach this level of global praise and success just really makes me happy. She's deserved it for a long time. I mean, she's been one of the most forward-thinking pop artists in the industry for a while now, making futuristic, basically invented hyperpop alongside her other cohort people like Sophie, may she rest in peace, and also A.G. Cook. They defined a whole era of pop music, and now seeing her get that recognition is amazing. Let's just look at what she did in 2024. Brat as a release was a massive moment. It was such a huge cultural impact that Brat as a word became its own thing, right? The whole Brat summer, Brat era really only came into fruition because of this album, obviously. But just looking at Brat alone as a project, I don't want to do any spoilers, but I absolutely loved that album, and there will be a top 10 albums of 2024 coming very soon, or top 15, I haven't quite decided yet. Looking further into the success of Brat, it was ranked as the #1 album of 2024 on so many publications, just notably so, Billboard and Rolling Stone. Forward-thinking pop records like that don't come often. They define an era, they define a decade, and I'm sure looking really forward, and we look back at the 2020s decade, Brat will be remembered for more than just the music. Now, looking at her success at the Grammys, she received 7 nominations and taking home 3 wins. That is huge. Not only is it huge in terms of what she's done in her career thus far, but it's huge in general for an album of that style, right? It's not mainstream pop. Finally, just looking at what she did with this remix album, right? She turned Brat into more than just a singular project, but instead as an opportunity to expand further and collaborate with huge artists like Billie Eilish, like Ariana Grande, like Shy Girl. I mean, she's not big, but I love Shy Girl. It was a great decision by her. It made it so that there was more textures to this album, and quite honestly, I feel like that's a huge inspiration for artists moving forward. A project doesn't have to stay one thing. It can evolve, it can do more, you can do more with it, and I mean, Charlie proved that this year, right? Guess was a banger. Didn't need Billie Eilish, but adding Billie Eilish allowed the song to blow up even more than it would have, right? Obviously because Billie touches and reaches more of an audience than Charlie does, but I'm sure that won't be the case anymore. And yeah, so that's why Charlie XCX is my runner-up for the MVP of 2024. So coming in first place, by absolutely no surprise, it is Kendrick Lamar. Kendrick Lamar is arguably my favorite artist ever, so this makes me really happy. But he had an MVP year through and through. Quite literally nothing stopped him this year. Let's start off with the whole Drake beef. That is one of the biggest beefs in hip-hop history, and there's been a lot. Jay-Z, Nas, Tupac, Biggie, Drake, Pusha T, just for examples. But what Kendrick Lamar was able to do, taking down a huge pop star juggernaut like Drake, bringing down his image quite literally to a halting stop and uplifting his own image. I've never seen something like that before. I've never seen something even close to that. But what Kendrick Lamar was able to do with his four diss tracks, so vicious, and he won this battle in such a trailblazing fashion. After this beef and after this whole discourse, his stock market is through the roof while Drake's is not. And that is the complete purpose of what a diss battle, a diss off, a beef, whatever you want to call it, that's what it's for. Now, looking further into these diss tracks, right? A song like Not Like Us broke so many records. It really did. I mean, a diss track has never done as much as Not Like Us has done. Similarly to Brat and how that was a whole cultural movement, so was Not Like Us. Now, all of a sudden, the people in this industry who need to be exposed for the things that they're doing, the bad things that they're doing, are finally getting exposed because of songs like Not Like Us. Just that bravado. And continuing with Not Like Us, obviously that hit over 1.2 billion streams on Spotify, crazy, but it also hit #1 on the charts. So did Luther, so did Squabble Up, so did Like That. He had 4 #1 hits in 1 year. Unless, I mean, if you want to go, Luther was kind of in March of 2025, but that was like that year, right? That is wild. What helped was the release of his record GNX, and that was a great album, super well received by both critics and fans alike. It was a great record. It helped him solidify his year even more, and if he didn't even need that. Because let's just look at award ceremonies and accolades just in 2024. So in 2024, he won 5 Grammys for one fucking song, making it the biggest diss track, biggest rap song basically in terms of what it was able to garner at the Grammys. But he was even named Rapper of the Year at the BET Awards. So there wasn't really a moment where Kendrick Lamar wasn't given the praise for what he was able to do in 2024. Now let's look at his streaming numbers. So Kendrick Lamar became the first rapper ever to surpass 100 million monthly listeners on Spotify. That is massive. Let's put that into context. That not only does that make him the most streamed rapper in the world right now, but that also makes him in the top 5 most streamed artists globally across all genres, up there with artists like The Weeknd, Bruno Mars, Lady Gaga. These are huge global icons, and he's right alongside with them. And just to sum it all up, he was given the Super Bowl halftime show. I mean, one of the biggest honors a performer can receive. And not only did he do that show, but he did it with the most amount of justice you can possibly think of. He took that as an opportunity to spread an important message in front of millions of people. Speaking of, he also gathered the largest audience in Super Bowl history with over 133.5 million viewers, which surpassed Michael fucking Jackson. So let's really take the time to understand what this man did in 2024 and continuing to do in early 2025, and possibly with this whole tour he's doing with SZA. I imagine this won't stop. He's on a roll and he deserves it. It's a long time coming. Artists of his level, they deserve the praise. They are the ones who deserve to be looked up to. They are the ones who deserve to be having the most amount of streams or whatever. I'm happy as a Kendrick Lamar fan, but also as a music fan. But yeah, those are my MVPs of 2024. I hope you agree. If you don't agree, that's fine, but let me know who your top 3 is in the comments. It could be anybody. It could be some of the honorable mentions that I mentioned, or it could be someone random. I don't care, but I'd love to see why you think they are deserving of your MVP. So that's it for today's video. Stay tuned for some more music videos. I have a top 15 songs and a top 15 album or top 10, like I said earlier, coming very soon. So stay tuned, subscribe, and don't miss out. Here's a vinyl coaster. Squeeze out.